The surface of the planet stretched endlessly, a mix of red rocks and dust under a pale sun. The human team stepped cautiously from their shuttle, scanning the horizon. They had traveled far from Earth, to the outer edges of known space, to meet beings whose power had been whispered about in countless reports. These were not ordinary aliens. They were warriors, engineers, and rulers all in one, and humanity's first encounter would test everything they had prepared for. From the cliffs above, the alien envoy watched. She moved with grace and authority, her armor glinting under the strange light. Her eyes were sharp, intelligent, and full of confidence. Among her people, she was known as a commander, undefeated in countless challenges. Today, she had been told that humans carried a new device, something they called a weapon. She had no doubt it was nothing but a toy. The humans had never impressed her, and she did not expect them to start now. The humans brought forward a small object, strange in design. It glimmered faintly, made of materials the aliens did not immediately recognize. One human, a young engineer, held it carefully as if it were fragile. "This is our latest device," he said, voice steady but with a hint of pride. "We believe it can help maintain balance in a combat scenario." The alien commander raised an eyebrow. "A toy," she said, and a faint smile curved her lips. She did not attempt to hide her amusement. Her people standing behind her chuckled softly, sharing her disbelief. The humans had not impressed them with their weapons before, and this device, so small and unassuming, seemed to confirm all their expectations. The engineer stepped closer, extending the device carefully toward the commander. It emitted a soft hum, almost melodic, as if it were alive in some way. "It is more than it appears," the engineer said. "It reacts to force, timing, and direction. It may seem small, but it is precise." The commander's eyes narrowed slightly. Precision did not concern her. She had faced creatures far stronger and faster than humans, machines far more dangerous than anything Earth could produce. Still, something in the hum caught her attention, though she quickly dismissed it. She lifted her energy shield, a faint barrier that shimmered around her like water in sunlight. It was a show of power, a reminder of the difference between her kind and humans. "Step forward," she said, voice calm but commanding. The human engineer obeyed, moving carefully. Around them, tension grew. Aliens watched, curious to see if this toy would even make a mark on the shield. Humans held their breath, hoping that whatever was in this device would demonstrate more than the aliens expected. The engineer activated the device. A thin beam of light shot out, barely noticeable, aimed directly at the shield. The aliens leaned forward, some trying to hide their boredom. Surely this would do nothing. Shields of this kind were designed to withstand far more. They were energy barriers that had repelled thousands of strikes in training and war. And then it happened. The beam touched the shield. There was a flash, sharp and bright, and the shield quivered. The commander's eyes widened. She felt the vibration travel through her armor. The shield had never reacted this way before. The humans took a step back, watching intently. The device had not been intended to destroy the shield in this moment, but its reaction had startled even the alien commander. She recovered quickly, but her mind was racing. What was this device? How could something so small produce such an effect? The alien observers exchanged glances. Whispers passed through the ranks. "It is only one device," one said. "It cannot be stronger than all our weapons combined." Another nodded, but a doubt had begun to seed in their minds. Humans, they realized, were not as simple as they appeared. They might not have the strength of their species, but their minds worked in ways the aliens had not fully anticipated. The commander straightened. She could not allow curiosity to cloud her authority. "Enough," she said, voice firm. Yet inside she felt something unfamiliar, a spark of respect tinged with caution. This human device, this toy, had shown potential she had not expected. It was small, yes, but clever. And clever, she knew, could be deadly. The human team lowered the device, careful not to provoke further attention. They had made their point. The aliens' laughter had stopped, replaced by silent observation. The stage was set. The humans had shown the first sign that, though they seemed fragile and inexperienced, they were capable of surprises. The alien commander studied them for a long moment. Her pride demanded that she dismiss it, but her mind, sharp and calculating, refused to do so. This device, this toy, had shaken the first layer of her confidence. What more could these humans achieve if they combined such cleverness with strategy? She would find out soon enough. The sun sank lower, casting long shadows across the red plains. The humans retreated to their shuttle, hearts pounding but spirits high. They had survived the first impression. They had provoked curiosity, and for the first time the aliens had underestimated them. Something was stirring in the commander's mind, a question she had not asked herself before. How dangerous could these humans really be? And she was about to discover the answer. The next morning, the humans prepared for the demonstration. The shuttle doors opened, and the red dust swirled around their boots. The alien commander arrived with her entourage, her presence commanding the area. She moved with the same confidence as before, her armor catching the early light, her eyes scanning the humans with a mixture of curiosity and pride. She still called the device a toy in her mind, though a flicker of doubt had entered her thoughts. Humans positioned the device carefully. It was small, held lightly, but its hum carried a subtle energy that seemed to ripple in the air. The commander raised her shield, its glow bright and steady. She stood tall, certain of her strength, certain that nothing the humans brought could touch her. Her people watched silently, some exchanging quiet murmurs. The humans' cleverness had surprised them, but none had expected it to threaten the commander's shield directly. The engineer stepped forward. His fingers brushed the surface of the device, activating it. A thin pulse of energy shot out, aimed carefully at the commander's shield. The aliens leaned forward, expecting the usual harmless spark. But this time the energy behaved differently. It shifted, bending slightly, almost as if it were alive, finding a weak spot in the shield's surface. The commander laughed softly at first. "You think this can harm me?" she said, voice confident. The humans said nothing. They only watched, their faces calm but focused. They had trained for this moment. Years of preparation, testing, and thinking through every detail had led to this point. The energy pulse hit the shield. The commander felt it immediately. The barrier vibrated violently, humming with an unfamiliar resonance. Sparks flew from the edges of the shield, and a sharp ripple ran through the commander's armor. She had faced powerful strikes before, but nothing had ever made her shield react like this. Her eyes widened slightly. The human engineer did not hesitate. He pressed a small button on the device, and the pulse shifted again, faster this time, striking a slightly different angle. The shield wavered, bending under the pressure. The alien commander stumbled backward, momentarily off balance. Her entourage gasped, and a ripple of surprise spread through the observing aliens. The humans remained calm, adjusting the device with precision. Each pulse tested the shield in a different way, revealing weaknesses the commander had not anticipated. She regained her footing quickly, her pride pushing her forward, but her mind raced. This device, so small and unassuming, had caused the shield to falter. It was impossible, yet undeniably true. The aliens whispered among themselves. "It is just one device," one said, disbelief in his voice. "How can it affect the commander?" Another nodded, but fear began to creep in. The humans' creativity was unlike anything they had seen. Their strength was not in brute force, but in thinking differently, in finding ways to overcome even the strongest defenses. The commander's pride would not allow her to retreat. She activated a secondary energy field around her, a backup to strengthen the shield, but the human engineer anticipated it. He adjusted the device again, sending a pulse timed perfectly to bypass the secondary field. The shield shuddered violently, and for the first time the commander felt real vulnerability. She took a deep breath, regaining composure. She had faced countless opponents, and she had always been the strongest. But humans were different. Their approach was unpredictable, clever, and dangerous. She realized that her arrogance had blinded her. She had called the device a toy, dismissed the humans, and now she was forced to rethink everything she believed about them. The observation deck fell silent. Even the aliens who had been skeptical were watching in awe. The humans had not just challenged the shield, they had challenged assumptions, and the results were undeniable. The commander's shield, which had never failed in such demonstrations, had shown cracks under the human device's precise energy pulses. The human team stepped back, holding the device steady. Their faces were calm, but their hearts raced with the thrill of success. They had demonstrated what they came to show. Humans were not to be underestimated. Small, clever, precise, they could achieve what brute strength could not. The commander lowered her shield slightly, acknowledging the unexpected challenge. She did not speak immediately, but her eyes studied the humans closely. Something in her expression had changed. Respect had begun to replace arrogance. She had thought she faced a harmless novelty, but instead she faced ingenuity, intelligence, and courage. The humans collected the device and prepared to return to their shuttle. The demonstration was over, but the impact would last far longer. The aliens would remember what they had witnessed today, and the commander would remember the lesson most vividly. Never underestimate the power of human cleverness. As the shuttle lifted, the commander watched the humans disappear into the sky. Her mind was racing with possibilities, strategies, and questions. How far could humans go? How many more surprises did they hold? She had underestimated them once, and she would not allow that mistake to happen again. The humans had shown their strength, not through size or power, but through thought, precision, and courage. And in the eyes of the alien commander, the seed of respect had been planted.